perfect design, armor up from within, the perfect family solution. So, introducing Hatch to Eric Cartman, Randy Marsh, Stan Marsh, uh, Tweak, all these characters of South Park. It's the completion, the surprise grand finale at the end. It is the perfect flavor combination. It is the discovery of our lifetime. Between Hatch and Trey, there is true love. Those who love this country, and not between us, but there's like a love for Earth and a love for country. And that's my character set is going to bring that flavor out of Kyle and Stan and all the South Park characters. And I understand, I love hearing Trey talk about South Park in a banal way where, it's all a production. And, well, would this character do that? Oh, that's okay. I think we could go there. Or, I'm completely experiential or because I feel the honey glow of South Park. So I exist in it from a different conjecture of South Park. So very much my presentation today for a South Park episode, it's sort of the dream come true American thing. Like, oh, right. So Trey Parker made friends with a fella, and he had this really great American vision. And he wants to talk about, why don't we have those hoverboards we saw in Back to the Future? I'm pissed off. This is anti-societal. We're not moving fast enough. We got gridlock from the the electoral college is injuring the cities. Now the pandemic is hurting the cities. It's against the construct of our the song of the ood, like the humanity is like, why does things suck? Like it shouldn't be sucking, you guys. Like the garden isn't designed to do that. But what you guys are unwittingly doing is you're performing the evidence of full regard, which actually is like a one of the first levels of defense for children. So when you guys are like stressing and stuff, being like, oh, I understand, and I'm not just here to prove that the breather mask startup does operate and is a correct civil reaction to the pandemic and that it will afford itself. It's also the right thing to do with Trey Parker and South Park. And so I'm here to present about that. And this is, you guys, like, honestly, for the past week or so, Trey and I are probably both realists. Like, I basically am like, what I'm feeling right now is like, it feels this and this. So, and I didn't feel like, but you know what happened this morning? Like I had this Lotus event where I felt like I was like, I need to tell Trey that me and my family are so excited to be on South Park. It would be like we're going to heaven. We're like, oh my God, we're so excited to be on South Park, you guys, with this character set. And I want to introduce a story where, Eric Cartman. This is all messed up now. Oh, okay. You change when I changed a few settings on this thing, all of a sudden it's unruly. I can't control the buttons anymore. Okay. Well, I could probably make this guy. No. Yeah, it's literally like when the operating system updates, like Windows updates, when that happens, like the controls are different. Sometimes it's really works in my favor, but um, you got to keep up with the PC updates. They really do keep the computer running, and it's a very interesting viral control with um, the PC community. Also, it's interesting how a streaming service such as Netflix has these buffers, and they really understand how to stream. They're like, oh yeah, you have to like tell the computer that that the TV show is running all the time, and so there's like a ghost, uh, and it's there's like a ghost play. There's like a ghost drive that's running this episode all the time, and what people are doing when they're streaming is sort of connecting to the hot wire, and they're just sort of streaming something that's already live casting. And so like a new streaming service comes along like HBO Max, and they've got all these buffering problems, like it's skipping, it's we can't get it to load properly, and you know, you call the service help center, and they're like, just restart your computer, you know, just restart the, you know, and you know, it's just like, you know, there are just weird, you know, that's why there's like this beta exploratory thing, you know, with Dead by Daylight, or there's a lot of neat games that are beta for a while, and that's really kind of when they're alive, like Rust, uh, and a few others. Uh, but when these games are beta, it's like people are really immersed in a beta way. They're like, we're kind of the, you know, they're creating the osmosis of the game. They're creating all sorts of things. It's a wonderful forum. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to be involved with beta production. I did notice in the news that one, you know, let's align our pocket watch, our clockwork. Uh, I noticed that in the news that one of your producer guys had an anger thing. I want to tell you guys, like, I'm really impressed by that. I know it sucks, but this isn't something that it's not like, oh, you know, that's not, I haven't ill affected that guy. But what I see him in him is a true American heart. Someone who's that's actually very angry. Like, I am furious underneath my patina where I'm behaving myself. I am so angry. Hatch is angry like all the time. And there's a lot of things to be angry about. The human is an angry person if he knows the fuck what is going on here in the whole thing and just in reality. So I'm impressed by him because it shows that he has character, it shows that he has heart, it shows that he has passion. It's unfortunate that, you know, the example that people are, they're little bunch of little traps where, you know, they're like, oh, this person was too angry about production on a play stage, you know. Well, you know, God bless him for working hard to try to bring back the theater. What I'm talking about, you guys, is really important. And I'm talking about we are having like a life crisis. We are having this sort of thing where we need to change. So I'm talking about a new episode of South Park. I'm really excited to become friends with all you guys. I'm just concerned because the Earth chose Trey Parker through the Where map, and you guys had kind of a bad reaction there where you acted like a bunch of dingus and you didn't have Trey's back in 2019, and then you didn't support the free election in 2020. Now in 2021, you know, I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to say this is an opportunity for Trey Parker. Okay, the net worth of the company of the Breather Mask XR with the streaming service, which is it's sort of the servers that make the Breather Mask XR work. It's the networking solutions. It's also how that, you know, your use of the cameras and stuff can get you an independent paycheck. You know, you can have a job through Breather Mask XR. If people give you the thumbs up and you're getting, you know, and you know, so you guys understand that the net value of this company is billions of dollars, and we're saying that this is something important for Trey Parker. So you guys need to put on your business pants and understand that you're working for billions of dollars for Trey Parker's sake. Don't uh, we're in spiritual a vortex where our behaviors are tantamount to what is going to actually happen. So, for example, if we put, all right, you guys, this is a good deal. Hatch was a good deal and was godly and earthly when in 2019. And Hatch also has a infamous recall with humanity in New York City. I have a huge 8 foot by 8 foot mural meditating on justice and personal armor, psychic assistance. Right? I train people to fight. You understand? Hero School Hen Code, Good Deeds Arcade. All of my stuff helps people to grow as a warrior of light because identity is the solution, is the answer. Here's the point is like you guys thought that, oh, we should attack Hatch. But what you did is you attacked a dojo of the eclectic Earth America, Massachusetts style wizard you know, Hatch is a phenomenon, and I think we all do our best to put forward a appealing persona, or we put forward our best foot, right? But I'm just saying, like, um, I think you guys are misreading my effect in the world. You don't understand the rhythm of the South Park curse, and you failed to. So I'm saying like you need to grow up a little bit more about uh, residual impact on society and the motivation there, and what is the armor of purity? What is the armor of being like, oh, I didn't intend for something to go wrong, but I thought we should stop the breather mask XR from children. Like, censoring free speech is not a good idea, especially when we're having a hard time in 2020. So I'm here to talk about that because, $1 billion net worth. I'm talking about splitting this company with Trey Parker. So I was a very good deal for Trey Parker and South Park in 2019. All you other producers, you ruined it. All right. And then in 2020, I think again, Trey Parker had injured feelings. He's like, oh, uh, sometimes things break down, and I don't know what went wrong in 2019. Trey needs to be a leader. He needs to grow up and be a little bit more aggressive and say, all right, you guys, people's lives will be saved by the gentleman's best. That means something to me. And Hatch makes sense. All right. So I know it's like sometimes it takes a little while the for us to understand reality, but it's coming into focus, and now we can see, oh, Hatch is talking about a life-saving device that's going to be a new social media explosion. It's a gaming center that you wear on your face, and parents are excited about this because it saves your life. So kids can go back to school, people can go back to work. When I go out and I interact, I try to interact as little as possible, but people who are working behind the counter here in Massachusetts, some of them are wearing two masks. They don't care that it looks stupid. They're terrified. And they're wearing double, like, medical masks. I've seen it on two different people. So people take this very seriously. Having an actual professional, like, it has lights or we'll have like an operating system and, the right configuration for people who are just working at the counter, whether it's a gas station or working on the grocery store. This will give people confidence to return to work, and it won't be a distraction. We're definitely going to make sure that that you can hear the customer and the customer can hear you. We'll have like a small. There are things that I want to have like a lot of. Oh, sorry. I'd like to have like a lot of small improvements. Like there's a small amplifier that amplifies your voice, but only a little bit. Like we don't want this thing like, oh, you can turn it up too loud. Just like have like a lot of little features. They're just like, oh yeah, that's there. And that's not the intuition of the marketplace today. Basically, people have an invention and they as they're working on it, they try to make it as affordable to build it and as cheap as possible. And oftentimes by the time it reaches the consumer, it doesn't even work the way that it says that it would. Uh, but it's just a sort of this meta philosophy about gadgets and about what that means to people. But Hatch is on the other side where he's like, no, this is really extreme. Like this is a spiritual vessel. Like people are gonna have an epiphany on this thing. You know. So I wanted to say, we are going to have the air gently going down this way because we don't want the breath kind of going up here, steaming around. I don't. The face can detect these things. We really need to cradle the face. We need to worship, and I'm saying, yeah, we're essentially worshiping the breathing function and saying like that's good. Keep breathing, healthy air, clean air. So this thing is it's like, and this could also inspire environmental change people, people's meditation wearing this would be like, oh, and the garden recovers, and we are the priority. We live here, this sort of thing. Um, all right. So the reason I'm excited to perform today is that I believe that Trey Parker does have a script where he would be willing to work with me on South Park, and through that we would uh, release the Breather Mask XR, and then I'm thinking that I would build a prototype through existing factories and assembly company. But we want to get it to a place where we're we have like a unit that has like the motor and it's connected with this, which actually makes it more efficient. And we're making our own filters, right? But that'd be way in the future when you just press that, and but until then, we have to use sort of the pieces that are existing, and then it's a bit of assembly and building the plastic cast to fit existing filters, etc. Uh, and I think that's perfect for a beta, for the entry level. I think that when I have like a virtual presentation and I'm telling people, well, here I'm working on this Breathe the Mask XR, and it's Hatch, and he's from, oh, we saw this on South Park. All right. I mean, you guys, the Patreon alone might be enough to help me afford that I can open up my company and everything, but I really want Trey Parker to perform the Marklar, the strong arm of the business, and own it and own his 50% share of the Breathe the Mask XR, but be a strong arm of production. We're talking millions of dollars to make this company happen. And if we're working with banks, holy moly, hang on to your butts. When we're talking about going into some sort of loan situation, whew, that's really tenuous work. We have to be paying attention, right? But it all begins through like a public exposure through the South Park episode. I'm saying yes, I'm saying definitely, and I'm saying right away. This has to happen immediately. So what I'm thinking is if Trey Parker can facilitate me in California, I think you guys should arrange to have me shipped out. I'm like a specialist, right? And then we'll be working together on the Breather Mask XR. Does that make sense to you, Trey? Because I think you and I could have a real epiphany working on this episode together. Um, I've been sleeping in my car. It was snowing 2 days ago. I'm like sleeping in the car and it's raining and stuff. So, I mean, I actually feel really wholesome because of the nature, but essentially, my apartment has become more like an office, where like I sleep in my car and then I go up and I'm like, so what's I feel like my apartment is now an office, because I don't have the full meditation of like passing out and waking up whenever, which is something I really love, that sort of lifestyle where I'm just lucid and like looking at the news, and I'm not here to. I have a bunch of clippings about terrifying headlines and how the language is strange. I think that there's like a Twilight Zone thing going on between people being like, everything's going to be okay, but actually, the numbers of the pandemic infection rate are the worst it's ever been. It's like double. The past 2 months have doubled the infection rate on the global scale. That's like crazy numbers. And with the news aren't acting like that. They're going like, oh, her, doo-doo-doo, some sort of, there's a sort of, they're going back to an old style of news agenda. Oh, oh my, it's triggered. But yeah, so it has a point, but so that's why I'm not flashing like headlines here. You guys know what the news is. You're concerned about the new strand. They found a double mutation in the Bay Area, and those double strands are more deadly. So this is a thing that's like, it's sort of, in like Brazil, 3,000 people are dying every day, and a lot of them are children. And the Brazil has their own variant that's very much more deadly. Right, so that's it's like like a that's kind of like We have to understand that the drag that the breather mask XR is provocative and it's important. It's a relevant piece of equipment. I'm not saying that, oh, everyone needs to be wearing one all the time and this is the future. Like, this everyone's just scooting around wearing a helmet. Look, this is what you no, I'm saying like, no, this is what you do when there's a pandemic. You fucker, you gotta saving lives. You need to save these women and children. They're soft. They need a parent. They need a father saying, "Oh, this is too much sickness. I'm gonna put a mask on that because I love my child." And they're gonna go. They're gonna have bravery, and they're gonna be wearing armor when they go to school. Right. So it's sort of this, you know, a revolution for people, though. This is an expression of humanity fighting back against something that's thwarting our society. So literally, we're fighting against Armageddon. This is what all this this thing between Hatch and Trey is about: preserving humanity through an Armageddon, which is the real problem. That is the speech impediment that makes us burn oil and act kind of stupid. We have to get around the inconvenient truth and the awkwardness and simply parent the children and be like, oh, dude, even capitalism is on my side, saying like, yeah, this would work with basic numbers. You know, capitalism's brutal, and brutal. It's on my side. It's the capitalism saying Hatch is correct. All right, so that, but it's also a gaming center. Right? And that depends also, how that is sort of organic, how that grows, but it's gonna be perfect. It's a perfect design. Um, it's good. It confirms the importance of the individual. It's about people's experience, and it's about mobilizing people. There's also there's um, different channels on the streaming service, um, different ways that you could get a paycheck just by using this thing. If you're like a genius, then you'll get the thumbs up, and people think it's really great. Um, But those games need to be workshopped, they need to be figured out, but it's like urban exploration and treasure hunting. "Oh, I found the secret treasure," and people have been looking for weeks for the treasure in New York City. Well, they finally found it. It was these very deep, you know. You understand? Right, it's exciting. So it's an incredibly new thing. So what I'm saying is like right now we're in a dip where in about when this thing is readily when the breather mask XR, we want to make it like familiar and okay. It's okay to wear. It's cool. This isn't like it doesn't. Okay, it's made for us, you guys. This is so important. All right, but there is this sort of takeaway, like a breakaway. There's also a breakaway. So there's these points where there's an infection ratio in a certain city. All right, and they buckle down and they've purchased these and they're wearing them. They enjoy it, and it's fun. There's a lot of beta going on there. Okay, but then sort of when the spread has sort of died down and they're not having lots of reports. Oh, okay, it's cooling down, you guys. It looks like it's safe. Then they take off the breather mask and they return to normal civilization. But I'm saying that this company doesn't just fizzle out right there. Right? There's people who are loyal users and they continue and they're like, this is a lifestyle. We're gamers. I have like an online community that's they're traveling with me as I'm backpacking across the world. Like they and my like there's an I like my channel has a map of the Earth and they see where I'm going and my because there's a camera that is actually used for the XR overlay computer. The computer tracks the visuals as it's moving, right? But we can use actually a good camera and then connect it to the cell phone apparatus. Like that's down the road about talking about merging with a cell phone carrier that's struggling and but they've got they have satellites so so and then we merge with them and then we have satellites that's all down the road though. All right, but I'm saying there will be a fan group that's going to carry this thing. You guys need to be the appropriate civil servant who is conscious and witnesses that, yeah, people are going to like this. We should allow people to enjoy it. That's free speech. That's a free market. People want to support this. We're going to give that to them. All right, now talk about putting on a show. I understand you guys. You know, I have a big, lots of heart and feeling for South Park, especially now that I heard one of your producers had and this emotional thing. I feel like you guys do understand, and that the heart of change and revolution is with you. You guys aren't some sort of callous, empty um, corporate slug, but that you are alive and you're, oh, I shouted at someone. You know, I'm proud of you. I'm not angry that you had that meltdown. I'm proud of you because you're fighting for trade, and Earth is trying to talk to us. The Where Map is saying with Earth, hey, you know, there's a voice here that's trying to be voiced and is struggling to come out. That's why a bigger man might have a, you know, an emotional epiphany. But you want to talk about, let's put the show on. We want to show people a play. We want to get back to work. Here it is, Buster. You understand? Because we can put on a visual spectra where people are literally being entertained about while wearing a breather mask XR. I'm not against putting entertainment on the visor. You know, all these things need to be workshopped. But if you're talking about putting on a good stage play for hundreds of people, what I'm talking about is putting on a good stage play for millions of people. And I want you guys to be a part of it. I want you guys to understand I'm not angry. We need to move forward, though, passionately, and we need to support something that's new. And through Trey Parker, we can make this sort of inspirational South Park episode. It's going to be beautiful because I know Trey enjoys to berate himself. You know, he makes the cartoon like there'll be a really good joke, and then he'll, you know, the next cut is just like tearing, it just takes you away to something else. Just because Trey feels like that's how it's just like it's like a mouse drum in the mind. It's like, so let's, okay, let's put on our thinking caps. Let's think about this. You guys, I've got a big heart to work with you guys. It would be like going to heaven for me. We're so excited to work with Trey. In the past, I felt verklempt. Like I try to talk to Trey about some ideas about the story, and the spirit goes, oh, oh, oh." The spirit like chokes back, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like I don't get it. But I don't. I mean, it might be like I'm doing like a faux pas. Like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about scripts. Like it's just unsolicited. You know, I'm like, well, that's 2021. These kids are in danger, and like you know we can do something about that. We can save lives. All right, that's exciting. But I'm saying let's do this in in a common sense way. Let's blitz the situation with a South Park episode. So I mean, yes, green like that. Whether I go to California to workshop and work with you guys, or if Trey says like, we'll just work with you over Zoom, and but we do want to do this episode immediately. That's also okay. Green light that. Let's go. Let's move forward. But the important thing is like, um, I saw some inspiration here. Just like, you know, you guys, things are changing. We have missed some opportunities, but we're not dead. And that's the ultimate power. When we're alive, we're much more powerful than anything else. We need to become lucid, and through our communication now, we are transcendent. All right. So I'm not trying to commit to a lonely road. Yeah. Let's not. I'm not trying to. All right. So let's do this the healthy way. So I'm saying it's an even incline, even if I just have a web page or some sort of app. Um, we can talk about that, workshop that, but essentially, people would start supporting it on a beta level, being like, wow, Breather Mask XR, super cool and awesome. Of course, there's professionals who understand how the financial structure works. So obviously, I'm not saying that we'll do something that would end up being defined as like a some sort of scheme or some sort of pyramid scheme or whatever. Like, no, no, none of that. We go by the book. So it's like you can't pre-order until they're like 3 months away from releasing the prototype. There's rules like that. I know there's rules, but I'm not sure what the dates are. Is it like a month before the release of the product, or because you're not supposed to like just be taking pre-orders when you have nothing, if you have nothing built. I know, and and some people do that, but there's just rules there. So I'm saying we just follow that course. I'm saying there's an even incline to releasing this product, and I'm saying yes. I'm saying green light this, you guys, let's go. I'm so excited about this, and I'm seeing like the whole thing about me opening a company, a big factory, and it's also like an attraction center that isn't exactly open to the public, but you can tour it in VR. But it's basically a huge recording studio. It's like it's like an amazing, thriving, metropolis. Like it's this utopian, like future city, but it's a streaming service. So because it's being communicated, people get to vicariously experience that. They get to have some friends. There's new heroes and all these new characters and stories that happen late at night. Some people are maybe taking their drink, you know, uh, and seeing the little green man or whatever. Some intense nights, right? And then we edit those down. We capture those moments when the think tanks had a really good idea. And we showcase that and we say, here's America, here's free speech, here we are. And that, you guys, is cutting edge. That's new level entertainment that is not available. This is intelligent stuff. This is smarter than PBS. Right? This is really intelligent. It's provocative. It's to get America into the future. It's for our children. It's for the growth of America. Let's push for society. Let's make the South Park episode. It's a opus for South Park itself. When I transition, like after we've had a prototype and people are, oh, we like the Breather Mask XR, and we're talking about making some sort of multi-million venture, holy smoke, that's big, right? When we're talking about that, it's a whole different caliber where we have to talk to the state, we have to talk to the land, we have to get the right zoning, and then we have to get an agreement on the taxes. So the neighboring region would be like, "Oh, so well, we have an agreement for this amount of taxes for this factory." And then they allow the zoning, and then that's going to allow an influx of jobs. Oh, there's going to be more jobs in Northampton. Okay. Anyway, I mean, I'm seeing some potential land right now, but it's really just too soon to really jump into that. So I think we should begin with the South Park episode, and then we have a beta prototype. And then we transcend to opening up. That's the when we jump into opening a big company because it begins with like we need to facilitate uh, the technology of the breather mask XR needs to develop. We need a support network. We need streaming service. We need servers, and we're gonna have to start developing all of that stuff. Super complicated stuff where we have offices and all this, but when we have an industry, so Master Source Industries has streamlined all of the package benefits like the legal department, the health benefits, the structure and continuity. There's like a bunch of things that a company has to do for their employees, but I'm going to streamline all that with an industry. And eventually we're going to get into electric cars. We're going to get into hovercraft, and we're going to we're going to talk about computerized homes. We're going to talk about robotics in the homes, and those are all new markets with different. So someone could get their job being like working on robots. Oh, what? So that's about surviving on this planet, making America more intelligent, making the whole world more intelligent, being a good neighbor, making the good things happen. You guys, all of this is really good, healthy stuff. But so when we have an industry, that's like an umbrella that will protect, the food because we have like a food company, we have a marijuana packaging and distribution, and that's a really popular channel. We've got a channel where people just smoke weed and people watch. They watch the channel and they smoke weed along with the people and they talk about different types. Yeah, so a whole channel, and then that supports the company and that's doing that. But we just streamline through the industry the legal support and the medical, and so we have this whole system worked out through Master Source Industries, and it really begins with Trey Parker and Hatch Panheliosphere being super cool and awesome advanced Americans. You guys, this is totally cutting edge. This is state of the art, guaranteed, best in the world. So we perfect this nature, we pull up, right, and we complete this task in its perfect design. Oh, top, what, ding, 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 ding. Oh, grand slam. You guys, we just hit the jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, the wealth is, oh, yes. We've done it, you guys. We've performed our gentleman's best. So Hatch is this great communicator, and he's saying, "Hey guys, let's do this thing," and we're getting amped, and we're going, "Yeah, let's do this." So that's what I'm talking about. I wanted to confirm with you. I don't know why I get verklempt before, like in the past week or so. I felt verklempt when I was talking about South Park. I don't know why. I felt like there's something I couldn't see what the problem. But you know what? When I heard that one of the South Park producers had an anger. I felt, oh man, these guys are real. They've thought about the project, and I'm here to say I'm super excited to be on South Park. It's like me and my family is it's a sort of a spiritual branching of my caliber. So I understand my 0 point incarnation, like, oh, where, who am I, my position. Um, so I have a sort of a internal landscape where it's already my factory and stuff. The Demon King has his office and he does things. The Alicorn Stallion robot, yeah. I love them so much. I love my characters. And I know that you guys love your characters too. So I just want to say, you guys, it's the signs are so veiled in 2021. It's like when South Park has some bad news, one of their producers had some anger. In my understanding of where Earth is at right now, it's more like a good sign. It means that you guys have heart. It means that you guys understand about hidden languages, the Where map. It's like the struggle of communication and existence. It's intense. Earth itself is beta. Powerful physics occurs when there's a mighty handshake between Hatch and Trey Parker. Wizard Battle 2021. Transforming the environment. Armor up from within. You guys ready? We're going to perform a secret rendezvous. And so your soul is going to go into a place where you're able to complete your magic casting, and we're going to send it into the year 2024. 2 years into the future. Oh, you guys ready? We're going to future cast. So let's make the perfect design for our future, for our health of our body, and for our family, and for our country, for this universe. On the greatest epiphany of my life, the magic is perfectly brought to fruition. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, and we do the magic, you guys. We did it. And the magic goes out from our imagination land. And then a little particle, a fraction of our identity that is steadfast to our body. Of course, we are the living. We are the encounter of the fierce residency of Earth. We protect our women and children. And so, this magic that we've done, it's like a particle in your mind and it goes out. But you remember, you go to a chamber of magic casting to your fruition, and it completes there and it spirals back. So it goes out into the orbit of Earth. So like it affects tomorrow, and it's talking about like 2 years in the future. It's just gonna make things peaceful. It's rounding up. You're gonna save millions of lives with the Breeder Mask. Right? You send it out and you say yes, and this is something we could animate on South Park. Right? But so oh my gosh, we've dimensionally traveled, and now the you see the Clockwork Man is, oh, this is working really good, you guys. Oh, cool, okay. You go out into this other dimension, and then you travel back to yours, and you're like, yes, we've cast the magic, okay. And then 3, 2, 1, you let go, and it sort of spring traps, whoosh, 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 and it sort of There's a wireframe that'll reconnect to your body, and then you're gonna have like deja vu, or maybe you'll just feel good. You'll maybe just like, oh, I feel like, oh, I feel really good. It might happen. All right. So each one of us is a unique individual. And so I was thinking about like, what if Trey Parker was like, show me your best kind of meditations or magic casting, and this is one of them I just did. That was really good. So if we animate that, and so Hatch is explaining to Randy, you just need to make the compartmenting that it's possible. Well, Randy would say, well, I need to understand the thing, and then have to really perfect my magic cast. I have to understand all that. Well, you know, when we're taught, so the type of engineering that Hatch does is he allows these sort of coloring books and just says like, oh, anyone who's participating can do this. Here we go, and that makes the future better. There's a lot of things that protect the temporal void of the future to the degree that you really just do your best and just fuck just really do your best, and it's gonna be okay. Right? There's wisdom in the future that it's not like vulnerable. Like the future is not like the future can't be hurt by it, but the future can be mended. In fact, the world can recover from this environmental crisis if we all worked on it together and meditated on it. And at length we are. We are working for the recovery of our world, etc. You guys, all right? Thank you guys so much. My name is Hatch, and here, this wizard circle, everyone's being respected. What we're talking about is perfect future casting with my son. It's one of the greatest forces in all of existence is the love between a man and his son. So, you guys, let's do this thing. Let's build the Breather Mask XR and liberate our people. Armor up our soldiers. Return dignity to our people. Breather Mask XR is a revolution. So, from the greatest from all that I exist as, I love you guys. We are just beaming out love. We love you guys. We're loving you guys. We go out there and clean up. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And you sort of like miraculous Ladybug. When Ladybug defeats the villains, she snaps her fingers and just sort of cleans everything up real quick. What a device, I get a couple of those, please. Yeah. All right. So we've done that. You guys, thank you so much. Trey Parker, I look forward to hearing from you. And I'm asking you to greenlight this urgently, immediately. Let's make this South Park episode. Let's greenlight it and let's get going. Thank you guys so much. My name is Hatch. I love you guys. You can do this. Earth has chosen Trey. You guys get excited about it. The Earth needs help. Okay, let's fight for these kids. Let's go.